Hi and welcome to Top 10 Stupid Lists. 10 harsh realities of rewatching Captain America, the first Avenger. When the novelty and excitement wears off, audiences are bound to pick up on some harsh realities when rewatching Captain America, the first Avenger. Well, so I'm guessing there's some bad stuff or insensitive stuff. And it goes on, Unfortunately, the rose-tinted glasses of nostalgia only work so well. When the novelty and the excitement wears off and the films begin to age, audiences are bound to notice some unpleasant truths. That sounds bad. So, what is it? Number 10, Captain America's most embarrassing hour. Oh, so the part of the movie meant to be silly, over-the-top propaganda is exactly that. Do you know movies? Do you not get propaganda or satire? Did you seriously think this was a serious scene? Though the writer adds, most people find the montage funny, others find it hard to watch. Either way, it's the cringiest scene in the film, and it never gets any better. So yes, the writer apparently is an idiot that took this part serious. Who would have known? Number 9, testing Captain America's shield. Well, now we are changing ballpark. A man uses violence against a woman is seen as graphic and triggering, whereas a woman using violence against a man can be portrayed as comedic. Well, first of all, I think it's about context and how you do it. Second, in the aforementioned scene, we have Agent Carter, who's a bit pissed off, who figuratively and literally shoots down his conversation while being fully aware of vibranium and its potential. And she's also a master marksman, so... Number 8, a potential Twitter war. Seriously, there's not enough nice Germans during World War II? Did they forget to include Hitler's point of view? No, seriously, are we doing a not all men or white lives matter here? What do you want from that scene? Number 7, it's a bird, it's a plane. Wrong movie. So the score/music is an issue here, apparently. Sure, a Skrillex Slipknot crossover would probably be some awesome fighting music, but A, it is actually a superhero movie, so the hero/winning music does fit. B, it has to fit within the time, at least enough not to stand out and seem misplaced, like let's say Skrillex Slipknot crossover? Number 6, Adolf Hu never saw him. Near the beginning of the film, the Red Skull breaks from Hitler and the Nazis to form his own regime. From then on, okay, he actually already had his own regime. Quick history lesson. The Germans had lots of special groups, Wehrmacht, SS, Gestapo, SR, all kinds of secret groups and secret police and not so secret groups. And as for why Hitler did not come for him, well, back then cell coverage wasn't that great. Well, all jokes aside, the world was at war and communication was spotty at best. A few things to keep in mind when bringing up stupid things like this. 1. People disappearing, especially over large travel distances, could be months before noticed. 2. Hitler was most likely not micromanaging due to the war and his drug addiction and much more. 3. Steve Rogers was turned into Captain America mid-1943, so we're already at a point where Hitler was getting tired of winning. 4. Red Skull's betrayal is closer to 1945, and if you know your history, you would know why Hitler was absent at this point and might not be coming for him. Number 5. Typically short-sighted planning. I think I need to read this. It's accurate to say everything Captain America goes through in this first film was certainly cakewalk. However, after over a dozen of films with threats like Loki, Ultron, Zemo and Thanos, the Red Skull just doesn't do it anymore. What the fuck, mate? Seriously, yes, you have to up the ante, but the antagonists need to be in some way comparable to the protagonist, or else the good guys are going to lose big. And how is using the Tesseract and super soldiers and all kinds of engineering to take over the world short-sighted? Wouldn't he have formed plans to stop Captain America from destroying his bases after the first 2 were busted? How is making super weapons and fortifying his fortress not a plan to stop Captain America? And a small gripe. You write the Red Skull rebels against his Führer. That's wrong. He's going against the Führer. It's not his Führer if he goes against him. If you don't follow your leader, he's not leading you. It would make him a leader, but not your leader. So yeah, that's just stupid writing, but okay. Number 4, not enough depth. At first, this sounds a bit dumb, but it turns out to be stupid. So what the writer means is that you only get this movie, not all the stories that follow it. To quote, Bucky and Carter, none of them are as interesting as they are in the future Marvel properties. That is really stupid. So the problem with this movie is those characters first get to do stuff after the film? What? Number 3, presenting your average everyday underdog, blah blah, don't want to go into that. Just recapping the plot with obvious flaws. Number 2, before we get started, probably the biggest issue with Captain America the First Avenger was the fact the film wasn't made to be a standalone project. First off, it is a standalone film. It's complete. Second, the continuing Steve's story became a guarantee rather than a possibility. It's dumb and wrong because it was already planned. It was a certainty. That's more than a guarantee. Captain America, First America. Okay, you mean First Avenger. Captain America, First Avenger was only a prologue to a larger story. Well, only if you don't know words. This is not how you use prologue. This would be the first chapter. Prologue is separate from the main story, but this film is certainly part of that main story. And not to be mean, but it's kinda stupid to claim the story will continue while still calling it a prologue. So it will be the prologue, chapter 2, and number 1 on the list of cringy, not rose-tinted glasses problems is we know how the story ends. Now this is the stupid monster and the stupid cake trying to win top stupid. So the biggest problem with seeing it again is you know how it ends. In other words, the worst things about seeing it again is it does not change. How is that a harsh reality? How does that affect the rose-tinted glasses? Quick question to the writer. How many movies have you seen that ends differently every time? I know you mean you know how it all ends, but that does not change the stupidity of we know how the story ends. I knew how the story was going to end before I saw it. Not that someone spoiled it by telling me or because I'm a huge fan, but the good guys will win. Well, sure, I know he would be frozen since that's his big thing, but seriously, the problem is the movie doesn't change. Did you eat a lot of lead paint chips when you were a child? No? Yes? No?